Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Howdy folks, welcome back to The Horror Show. I'm Robert Dole.
And you got Jaime and Fuego here, and we are back for another patron request, none other than our buddy Samuel Glass, who just recently celebrated a birthday. Much love to you, sir.
Really?
Actually, just yesterday he
shit.
hey, age
I'm
is a
not
state of mind, so
I'm
we are not
I'm
here.
not on Facebook anymore, Sam, so when you see this, happy belated birthday. Love
I
you,
was
buddy.
wondering when I tried to tag you on something. The
Yeah,
other day.
I only
hey,
use Messenger just for the show stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, having a break sometimes is well worth
It's
it.
definitely nice.
Yes, indeed. But Sam, happy birthday to you, man! As of this filming yesterday, you just celebrated. So we are finally getting around to your request of antiviral. Yes, from a Cronenberg kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Mr. Brandon Cronenberg himself, and who actually looks a lot like his dad.
I was gonna say,
He's got the crazy eyes, just like his father.
And especially in his dad's younger years, just the lanky, eccentric look about him. And I will contend that the apple does not fall very far from the tree if we're going to give overall impressions. This isn't like super body horror like his father, but it implements the subject, I would at least say, a little bit more so. It still has the social commentary you would expect from something like Videodrome and various others that he did. Existenz, which I just watched recently, which is an interesting one. And I dug it, especially for the commentary about the evil of celebrity worship and how far it could possibly go, and also the performance from our lead guy, who is as creepy. I mean, I was thinking of Big Daddy, where he's like, time heals all wounds except for these crazy eyes. And my God, was that this performance from this Canadian actor. I believe he's a Canadian actor, but overall I was impressed by what I believe is the feature debut of Brandon Cronenberg. So yeah, man,
I
what
believe
did
so
you
too.
think?
No, this one, I was very pleasantly surprised with this. Like I was actually talking with Fuego earlier off camera, is I actually had this movie sitting on my Netflix queue forever.
Yeah, I tried
everything. And
dude, I tried watching this many years ago when it first came out, and unfortunately, it starts out a little slow, and we smizzed or whatever, and I fell asleep. And the lady I was seeing at the time, she was like, "That movie was incredible, not quite horror, but still had a lot to say." And I'm bummed it took me so long to finally see it too.
same and everything. But no, I'm actually really glad that it did, because like even Fuego was saying, it does, like the subject matter that it does tackle and everything, especially with like the celebrity obsession, you see that more and more nowadays, especially even more now today than when the movie was made. So it's a very dark basically imagination of a possible future where you're obsessed with celebrity diseases and like basically getting as close to your celebrity fascination as you can. But no, all in all, real quick, for overall impressions, honestly, this was an A movie.
It is right there for me too.
I dug the hell out of this movie. I was pleasantly surprised. I was intrigued with the characters, what was going on. I was grossed out at times. And one thing I was even talking with Fuego off camera too is I had one scene that was a nice little nod to his dad's movie Videodrome.
Indeed, with like the cybernetics.
Without
spoiling
too much. Basically, he wasn't all there in the head, so it was a big hallucination, and it was nuts.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and there are hints of that with some of these diseases and afflictions, viruses, whatever, that apparently, to segue into the story, in this freakish, not too distant future, celebrity obsession has increased to a level where people are down, of the most obsessive variety, to have a disease or a virus or whatever. I know there's different distinctions depending on how they like affect your body and things of that nature, but basically a famous person is afflicted with something, it is extracted from their body, and people will pay to have what was taken that will hurt them put into their own bodies. That is the epitome of just freakish obsession for me, man.
Yeah, and the neat thing though too is like with this, basically like it was a a viral farm in a sense. So they would extract that virus, and replicate it, and replicate it, and replicate it.
It's so
But
white collar though, these people, and the
it
way
was,
that they are like
but
putting forward their
the
product.
explanation of what they gave for how the virus is because basically you can get like say if like someone like your favorite celebrity has like in one scene in particular she has herpes, so this guy gets infected with her strain of herpes. But the thing with how they reverse engineered it basically is it's not transmittable to other people. So it's basically keeping that cash flow in for new viruses, new people, and things like that. Like it's creepy. Like they're actually like the things that they were growing in the butcher shops.
Yeah,
and
that was where they took it to a way bigger degree.
That
man.
was insane. Like I was not expecting that, and that was perfectly gross, and I loved it.
Borderline cannibalistic, and that's
It's
where
straight
Brandon was taking cues from his father even more so, even if it wasn't so much in the visual aspect like you saw in so much Cronenberg and so much David Cronenberg work. It was definitely in the subject matter and in the idea of it. It's the cannibalistic consumption of everything we possibly can for the people we just revere and worship. Yeah, and it did a damn good job of doing it. We have this lead character though that he's working for one of these two major warring factions. I believe it was Lucas, and then there were, or maybe I'm mistaken, and then there was another one. It was like Tory something. Anyway, so they're apparently these two are the biggest players in the industry of the actual like viral injection, not the whole butcher aspect that Robert mentioned.
Yeah.
And this dude, you can tell from the very get-go. I think the first scene, in fact, he's got one of those little temperature monitor things under his tongue where he's trying to see, how he's doing, and he tells a few characters early on in the film, I've been sick, I'm not okay, and you can tell that he's kind of, without spoiling too much, he's kind of pulling a few of the wares from the place where he works. He's not being completely
He's got his own
honest about it.
obsessions.
And he's obviously just putting his body through the rigors of just putting all of these things into himself, but he also has some ties within the black market of this industry, which is where the butcher guy comes into play. You mentioned, right?
Yep. No, most definitely. So we'll quick. So do you want to segue really quick into acting?
I think so, because there's so much that progresses over the course of this film.
It's easy to spoil, and I really want you
and
guys actually to watch this movie.
Damn right.
It's very worth the watch.
Yeah, there are some unexpected twists and turns. We get some great, as far as even jumping into acting beyond the guy that I praise for his creepiness, we get some Malcolm McDowell eventually, which I did not even remember that he was in this, despite looking at the IMDb years ago for it. Butcher dude who is his like connection
you
to
know
the black market.
his face, but you can't. I don't remember what he's been in everything.
He honestly looked like a slightly heavier version of Harold Ramis, Rest Peacefully, but that's kind of the way he looked to me.
Yeah, a little bit and everything.
Yeah.
And then also one thing I was talking with Fuego on the before the recording is one of the reception ladies. If you guys watch the show Supernatural, she plays Billy the Reaper, which
That's where I recognized her
Yeah!
from. And they filmed so much up in Canada of Supernatural, pretty much all of it, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, her being in this makes total sense. Awesome.
And it was like she was good for what parts and everything we had from her and everything. She was very good. All of our actors, I would say, held this movie very well together.
Yeah, dude.
Especially our lead.
Yeah.
Something about his face. I just did not like his face.
I just don't like your face.
Exactly, But no, other than that, like he was creepy. He was intriguing, especially on his own personal obsessions and his basically just the madness that he ends up going through towards even like once you get halfway through into the third act and everything. It's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, he's got some internal brooding, man.
Yeah,
it's there.
Very, very effective, though. I will definitely say that from all players in this.
Yeah, and I mean, basically anybody who the people he worked for is in competition with, whether it's black market people or whether it's the competing company, everybody held it down. And there's a particular actress who we only see in a few scenes, but she's supposed to be the epitome of perfection, and she is mentioned by the herpes guy
her name,
right early on.
Her character name was Hannah Geist
Yes.
in the movie.
Yeah.
She's like the number one world basically most beautiful woman in the world celebrity thing and everything. Yeah, so everybody's obsessed with this woman.
And our lead character, I should say, his company has an exclusivity with any sort of affliction she comes down with. They have access to it.
First come, first serve for them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, performance-wise, even her. I mean, she doesn't really have a lot of speaking parts in it, just a few scenes, but she was terrific as well. And across the board, even as we segue into the visual presentation of this movie, dude. I mean, even some of the shot selections where you would have these extreme close-ups of, you know, like just the injection of something into somebody's like inner lip, or there's another scene where a character is like smelling blood, and there's even phallic bits with like slicing a bit of an arm and like trying to lick the and these nasty close-ups. They really go for it. And some of the lighting selections, I was actually wondering if he even did this on actual film as opposed to digital, because there was a certain graininess to certain parts of the film, if not the entirety of it, that I thought was good. And yeah, lighting plays a big part in just this sterile, inhuman environment where so much of the film takes place at these processing marketing places.
Yeah, especially like so. Yeah, with the whole thing of like the visual effects. My biggest thing I was talking earlier is the butcher shop.
Yeah.
So basically, like, not necessarily a spoiler and everything, because I'm pretty sure they showed this in the trailer. But basically, what they do is they're growing the meat of the selected celebrities. So you don't have, you know, your bison, your cow, you know, your pig like that. No, you got Norman Rockwell or again Einstein or whatever like that.
Or
and everything.
Geist, you know,
yeah, or your Hannah Geist and everything like that. Like, so basically they're recreating, and it's like they're cutting slabs off. People are eating it like chicken.
And they're serving it and like consume those you worship.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's almost, I can see a religious connotation very suddenly in, you know, take, eat, remember, and believe. This is my body, and you know, it's almost like a Jesus kind of Passover sort of situation in a sense, crazy way.
In a sense, yeah, there's
flesh
definitely
and
a little
drink
bit
their blood.
of the religious undertones and everything like that. Even if they're not super heavy-handed, I could definitely, they're definitely
subtext
in there.
That's there.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, like, it's effective, and the grittiness and the grossness. We're not really too overly heavy-handed in the gore. There's a little bit and everything like that, but nothing too major. It's a lot of it is it's psychological, really.
Oh yeah.
Is like what a lot of this horror and everything, and like the visuals of what they're trying to convey. It more so, again, it messes with your psychological aspect of it. But man, it was fucking effective.
Yeah,
like, seriously, you guys need to watch this movie.
Did you find the finale fulfilling? What the end game became? Without spoiling it, which we won't.
I actually kind of did.
I did too.
To a point and everything like that.
It said a lot about that character and what goes down with the wheeling and dealing aspect of it.
Yeah, because in the end, it's business.
Yeah. It's the business.
As cliche as sounds, it's just business, man.
Yeah, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And what makes sense in this weird kind of borderline dystopian future is consuming our celebrities in the most literal situation possible.
Yeah,
and there's
literally
an end game.
Being as close to them as possible without being able to be physically on them.
Yeah. Which they're actually kind of even implying. Who knows where the future could take us?
Yeah.
In you know, the third act of this film, but yeah.
See,
Sam,
this would actually be
props.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for this recommendation. And honestly, I could actually see a semi-sequel coming off of this.
They could continue this. They could do spin-off or just straight up sequel.
Yeah, and I think it would actually work out pretty well, especially if you tie in just a little bit more like current events along with the whole celebrity obsession thing. It would get pretty damn dark.
Which is what you said. It only became crazier over the course of the time since this film has been released, and with just the adding obsession with more social media outlets, with and even more recently with the pandemic that we found ourselves in the midst of, and you know, just celebrities often with even more time to podcast and do more than just movies and hit up their Instagram more often, or they're TikToking now, or whatever the hell it may be. This film, dare I say, was incredibly timely when it first arrived, but it was even ahead of its time in what came thereafter.
Exactly. I know. I most definitely agree.
Hell yeah, man.
So I pretty much, I think that's about going to be wrapping it up for this review of Antiviral. thank you again, Sam. This has been a great movie. I
Love you, man.
thoroughly enjoyed watching this movie.
As did I. And
Yeah.
if you would like to give us suggestions yourselves about something you would like to see us review, we have links once this finally gets to the official page on YouTube below to become a patron yourself. And you can request just a film, or you can kind of double down, get a little bit more bold, and ask us to do a full-on commentary. We also have, boogie boxes, all kinds of different tiers and stuff. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. And then don't forget, hit that like, subscribe button, see all of our pretty faces, get updated on all this beautiful horror stuff we do around here.
Appreciate
And
you.
Yes. So from the horror show, I've been Robert Dole.
And gracias haben Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.